graffiti is a lot different than it was in 1990. Just like I'm sure people in 1990 would say graffiti was a lot different than the 80s and the 70s. You know, graffiti is always changing, you know, and I was fortunate enough to have a mentor that taught me the rules of graffiti. You know, number one being respect. And you know, and it was all about style and being clean, you know, getting really sharp lines, you know, with your can, you know, it had to be crisp. But most of all, it had to be original. And of course, you know, you were given outlines, you know, to borrow and to practice and to study, but really it was about what kind of flavor are you gonna add to it. And you know, at least where I come from, you know, I'm speaking on Austin, Texas, man. And back then it was such a small community of riders, and it still is, that, you know, we really didn't have a lot of the cross-out beefs, you know. I mean, if you had beef with another rider, you battled. I mean, worst came to worst, you punched them in the jaw. But either way, you took it to the wall, and that's where it was settled, you know. None of this tag banging, crossing each other out, shooting each other, you know. I mean, I ain't gonna kill somebody over art, you know? I mean, you know, it's like, that's how it was back then, you know? You had to back up your talk, you know, and you backed it up by your piece, and you let your piece do the talking, you know? These days, it's a lot different, you know, with the internet. A lot of the kids that I see up and coming, you know, they tend to not stick around that long. It's almost like it's a trend. A lot of them don't have mentors, but most of all, they have no idea of the history. They have no idea of the history, you know. You know, like in Austin, you know, very few people know about Scam. You know, Supreme King Al Martinez. I mean, he was a legend. You know, he was murdered. He was murdered in '94 in Houston. But regardless, you know, you ask a lot of kids these days, they really don't even know about MK, and that's just, you know, that's the way it is. But at the same time, you know, it's like, I got to give props to all the pioneers, no matter where they came from, who came before me. Because if it wasn't for them, you know, I don't know if I'd be doing what I'm doing, you know. So the difference is then and now, I don't know, you know. Then again, we were a lot younger back then, you know. We were just about fucking shit up, well, fucking shit up with style. And I think that's important, you know, is that if you are, the way I was taught is, if you are going to go hit the streets, which is where we all learned, on the streets, do it style, make it look good, you know, come correct. And, you know, and that's how I got good, was bombing and battling, you know. Or I should say that's how I got better. That's how I learned. I never stopped learning. You know, for me, I just want to get better, man. I don't care about being the best. I just want to progress. And today, being a lot older, it's about progressing with other artists and coming together and sharing ideas. And but most of all, it's about painting. That's what it's about. You know, I do it for the love. I do it for the art. You know, I can care less about the politics. I do my best to stay out of it. But at the same time, you know, I don't know, man. I mean, I do my own thing. You know, I pay attention to the streets. You know, I see what's popping. We got some cats in Austin right now that are wrecking stuff. You know, Sayer, Lingo. You know, I give them props. Those kids are getting up. They're doing what we did. Clock Caps. You know, first of all, mad props to Suffer, Primate's crew, and the Yard for putting it on. It's a lot of work. I think it's very important for Texas, because Texas is such a big state and we're so spread out that even though a lot of us might know each other via the internet, you know, it's a gathering. It's a gathering of riders to come together and create, and you know, the vibes were real chill, you know, and that's really what it's about. I think it's important because it shows us all that, you know, we're all in the same game, man, and we're just trying to have fun painting, you know. Texas, like I said, Texas is like my boy Gonzo always says, you know, it's like a sleeping giant, you know. There's a lot of talent here, and for people like you know, Suffer and them to put it on a show like that, it really brings people together, and it's a positive thing, you know. I mean, means a lot to me because I get to meet some of the best riders in the United States, you know, and from the state of Texas. And hell, I'm just eyes wide open when I'm at club caps. You know, I've been to 3 of them, and each one's got its own memory. You know, it's a good time, and that's really what it's about. Because that's what we need, man. If anything, I think right now in Graph, we need some unity, man. Because shit's all messed up, man. It's messed up. You know, it's almost like where's the art? You know, and I think especially in a time right now where Graph really is, you know, I think is really at the height. You know, Graph's never really been this popular before. Even in the early 80s, you know, it was pretty much a, you know, 5-minute fame thing back then. But now, I mean, Graph ain't going nowhere, man, you know, and we got to stick together, man, because we're all in the same game, you know. So, yeah, I think it's very important for Texas. What's up? This is Sloke 1, CBS, RWS, MBK from the ATX out here in San Antonio. I want to give a big shout out to Suffer, Law's crew, BY crew, RTD, The Yard, DJ Scuba, and ChinkyEyedLA.com. Peace.